Hello and welcome. My name is Karen Allen. This is Adventures in Dolls, the United Federation of Doll Clubs YouTube channel. Today, our program is an interview with Alicia and Charlie Carver. They make exquisite wooden dolls, and they are the souvenir doll maker of the 2023 UFDC annual convention. I think you will really enjoy today's program. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments section. And if you've been enjoying our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. So you don't miss your next adventure in dolls. And now, let's get to the interview.
So about 4 years ago, we had always talked about the possibility of carving a wooden doll because Charlie is, by virtue of his last name, Carver, a wood carver, and comes from a family of, well, his grandpa was a master carpenter. So he'd always loved the wood dolls, and he'd always been making and tinkering with wood furniture and wood products, and just, it was his hobby. But when he learned doll restoration, under a tutelage of someone, and started doing doll restoration, I realized he was really good at the artwork part of it too, which he had always kind of had an artistic leaning to things. And in fact, when we would paint our house, I'd always come home with the wrong color can, and I'd always say to him, and he'd say, well, that needs to be a little more gray. And I'm like, how do you know that? So we'd go back to Home Depot, add a little more gray, and sure enough, that was the right color. So he kind of had an artistic color sense and also artistry. So it kind of came together one day when he restored something for a friend of mine, and it turned out beautiful. And when he was done with it, it was a Grodner doll that had lost its face. And when he was done with it, yeah, I was like, oh my God, you can't even tell that he's restored it. It looked great. Well, that then all of a sudden, ding, 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 the idea came. I know what we're going to do, Charlie. We're going to do Grodner dolls. I said, there's a lot of wood artists that do the Queen Anne dolls and the earlier dolls, but I don't see any artists that create that period of dolls. And I've always found them fascinating and charming.
And this was at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m.
So she just woke up and
yeah, it came.
I have an idea.
Yeah, it came to me. But the other thought came to me later that I knew exactly which ones we were going to do, because we had been to Kensington Palace the year before, and I had seen Queen Victoria's dolls, and I said, why don't we create Queen Victoria inspired dolls? I said, and I'll dress them just like that. And we were like, boom, that was it. We just came off and running. Then of course, COVID hit. And so he spent that whole year creating his first prototype and learning how to create them, because the dolls are very complicated. There's 9 pieces to them. There's a shoulder joint that he has to carve a certain way, and everything is like precision. There's no glue involved in here, so it's all precision mounted, and it has to like fit all the pieces correctly. So that took him a while, and once he figured that out, then he started carving the first one. And it took about a year to get the first prototype, and I just loved it. And I said, oh my God, I'm in love, and this is what we're going to do. So that was the beginning of our, what we call now, a labor of love, because it's
of your
incredible amount of work to make each doll.
Oh, yes. Just
business, but really it's more of a labor of love.
Were you always into doll collecting?
Oh, yes. I've been a doll collector
forever.
Well, not always. I came to doll collecting in my when my kids were in middle school and high school. That's when actually it was through eBay. I found antique dolls, and I had always collected antiques. Charlie and I had met in Boston, and on the weekends we used to go antique hunting, and we had decorated our whole first house, you know, with antiques, and I always loved them, and I loved certain periods. So antiques were always a big part of our lives, but I had never encountered an antique doll. And when I encountered them on eBay, it was like a rabbit hole that I never came out of.
Isn't that the way it is with us doll people?
And I started dabbling in selling dolls, mostly because that was my doll slush fund. At the time, we had 3 kids. They were about to enter college. We were, you know,
Oh,
So we
yeah.
were like, okay, I'm like, I need to have a doll slush fund. I was a teacher at the time. So I did this sort of on the side, and then that sort of grew and became its own, took
It
on its
became
own
its
life.
own thing.
Yeah.
Oh, now when you're gonna create a new doll, do you have like a favorite inspirational place, or do you go to research or
Research. I have a huge catalog of pictures of Queen Victoria's dolls that I've taken, some other friends have taken, plus the ones that are on the on the
website?
website from the
Uh-huh.
museum. And then I also have the Queen Victoria book with all the illustrations. So yes, when we start, like we came up with a list of dolls we wanted to do first, and so
Mhm.
we have been slowly
Working.
working on adding more. But because we've done 2 UFDC events back to back, last year
Yes.
the dinner and this year the convention souvenir, we've not put out as many Queen Victoria dolls as we would like to. So when we're done with the souvenir doll, we're going to probably ramp up that part of it.
So, what do you think the best piece of advice you've ever been given as far as this goes is?
Any idea?
Wow. There's been a lot of advice that we've
Yeah,
received
we have.
from Andy Orant. He has been very helpful
Yep.
in a lot of the process.
Chuck
Bisey. Yep.
And Joyce Murch also, was, and then we've had some friends that are very excited, that are close friends of ours, that love our work. And then sometimes we ask them for input. Like I'll say, okay, so now we're going to use shellac, and there's this finish, and there's this matte finish. Which one do you like better? So we do, and they're antique collectors. So we kind of get a smattering of advice from different sources.
Yeah.
But the best,
I think the best advice has been keep the number of editions or number of runs that you do
in a series,
in a series limited.
Yeah.
So you're not over flooding the market with a generic Lady Army.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is, there are 500 of them. We've kept it to a very small run for each one that we're doing, and I think that makes them more
collectible. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we're committed to doing 50 of each one, and that's our very small limit. Well, part of it is we hand do each one, and I don't have a factory where I can say make me 500 of those.
Yeah, we're not ordering bodies from China.
Right.
They're all right out of my little workshop in my garage.
Yes.
In the basement or in the garage?
In Florida, we don't have basements. They get flooded very
Oh, that's right.
So
That's
in my garage. Yeah.
In his garage, yes.
In the garage. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, let's see. You've always been a wood carver. So when you started this, because I'm sure this takes up most of your time.
Mm-hmm.
All of our time.
Especially now that we're doing the UFDC event. Yes.
Retired
really
and then so that you can do this? Yes. Oh, good.
Do we have what? I'm sorry.
Well, are you retired from another job?
Oh, yes. I'm retired from teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie sold his business right before he joined me in my business venture of antique doll dealing.
Yeah. So in retirement, we're working more than we ever have in our lives.
This is true.
I know. Isn't that the way it is? Oh,
I did not know that was the way it was going to be. My sister was also an educator alongside me, retired a couple of years after me. And right now she's in Antarctica on a ship. So I don't know if it's the way it's supposed to be. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think once we have this big project behind us, hopefully we'll be able to pace ourselves a little bit better.
Yeah.
No, but we're moving at a good pace. We've hired help. We have 3 people that are working with us at this point.
Oh, good.
Yeah. That are help, not so much painting and doing that, but doing some of the grunt work that can be done repetitively, like sanding and things like that. Because each doll has 9 pieces, and each of those pieces has to be sanded smooth, and then dipped, and then sealed, and then gesso. The list goes on. So I call that the grunt part of the job.
Do you sign or initial or mark your dolls? Are they all in the same place, or?
Yes.
all in the same place on the back.
On the
Now,
back.
on the
Yeah.
back and the upper back of the torso. A few of the dolls from convention last summer for UFDC, I was so ambitious trying to get my project done that about 8 of them I dress and I go, oh, I haven't signed. So I signed them on the buttocks
Oh.
where they were. Yeah. So, but
Mhm.
but the rest of them are all, I mean, they're all signed in the back on the torso.
On the back. Yeah.
The preparation in getting it ready to put a face on it is the most time consuming part of the process, really.
Oh, it is. Why is
Yeah.
that?
What's that?
Why is that?
It's because there are so many steps to get it ready to have
The
to be able
paint
to
on it.
put the final character on the doll.
Oh.
You know, it's sanding and making sure, because you're working with wood, and
Mhm.
wood has grain in it. And anytime you put a finish on it, the finish goes into the grain, and you don't want to see a bunch of grain in the finish. So you've got to sand that smooth and then do it again until it's, you know, perfectly smooth to be able to start painting detail to it. So
Oh.
that process of first carving it, then sanding it,
Sealing
Sanding and
it,
sanding.
sanding
and then
Yes.
sanding, and then putting the coat on it before then sanding that, and then sometimes that needs a second coat, and then sanding that, and now you're ready to paint.
Yeah.
Right. Once the wood doesn't swell up, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to know about the convention doll, or you have the video that you? So it's not a Queen Victoria doll, and I want to get that out there because I don't want people to think it's a Queen Victoria doll. It's definitely a doll that sits today in a museum, and we got the inspiration from her to create our prototype.
Oh.
So, but it's still a fully jointed wood doll from the period.
Uh-huh.
And it's what they call an alien head doll. Alien head because usually the heads are of paper mache, but this one is solid wood all throughout. So anyway, it's a solid wood doll. It's fully jointed, just like our dolls, and it's inspired by the doll that's in the museum, right?
UFDC museum, or in the
Sierra Mountains in California, in that museum that the Donner Party items are in. She's actually in that museum in a case on display at all times. I think right now she might be off display, but yeah, because she's got the history behind the family. The little girl that had her when she grew old, she asked her family to donate it to the museum when she passed away.
Anything else you want to tell our viewers?
You want to talk about the companion piece that is?
Yes. We have a companion piece that is a travel trunk, and because this little doll is a pioneer doll, she's going on a journey across the United States, so she needs things to go. She needs different outfits. She needs books to read. She needs knitting to do. So we kind of came up with, she needs a quilt to keep warm at night. So we came up with a trunk with everything in it that a little travel doll would need to go on a journey.
Oh my goodness. Those will go. Oh, everyone is going to want that. Everybody.
Yeah, they're really, the clothing is very sweet. She's got her Christmas outfit, her little cloak. She's got party dress, one party dress for an afternoon party dress. And then what if somebody gets married on this journey? So she's got a fancy wedding party dress for that, a floral one. Then she, so it was like, then her 4th of July dress. And then of course, little cloth flags with the flag from the 1846 US period. It's all fun. I've had a lot of fun creating that. I think that's the most fun that I have with this process, is the creation and the ideas that go with it. I was an English teacher, so it's kind of fun to create a whole narrative around a doll for me.
I thank you so much for joining us. I sincerely appreciate it. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Karen.
Don't work too hard.
Bye-bye. Yes.
All right.
That's what my mother tells me.
Welcome back. Certainly hope you enjoyed this video. We'd like to send a special thank you to Alicia and Charlie. They were very, very busy. They'd take time out of their busy day to spend a few minutes with us. We most certainly appreciate it. So if you're interested, We could sure use your support at UFDC. Just go to the website and sign up, become a member. And when you do, be sure you tell them Karen sent you. Be safe and take care, and we'll see you.